There are accused and convicted criminals living within the United States illegally, and it's up to ICE to track those people down. Now, we gave you an up-close look last night at what goes into finding these individuals, which is not so easy.
There is a level of protection for these non-citizens. They're able to kind of blend in and hide with just your average immigrant, which multiplies the amount of work and efforts that we need to put into it now. These are sensitive locations that these migrants are living in, and then they hide within these groups and they conduct their criminal activity within these shelters, and ERO is not allowed into those communities in order to try to locate the individual that we're looking for.
Well, NewsNation's national correspondent, Alex Caprariello, who went on that ride along with ICE in Chicago for 2 days, joins me now right here. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
So here's the point, right? We're seeing a lot of undocumented migrants who are committing these crimes, and that's the point of ICE, to track the people down and remove them, right?
Yeah, and specifically this ERO team, this specific unit of ICE, right? And so you just mentioned two great examples, the man from Ecuador, the man from El Salvador, right? So ICE is looking for those specific targets, not just people that are here illegally, but also the ones that have committed violent crimes. And so when we showed that story, watching the feedback, I think that was the main reaction that I was getting from the greater public. It's eye-opening to see that not only do we not know somebody's immigration status, but also their criminal history, whether they were accused, charged, or convicted. And the reality is they're all living right there among us. So I had the chance to speak to the Chicago field office director about exactly that. Here's what he had to say.
Public safety threats are the people that are a problem that we deem an issue to release them back into the community. They're the ones that you don't want back into the community.
I really think that it would surprise so many Americans out there to know that criminals, either charged or convicted, are living right there beside them with ICE officers ready to pounce after doing 2 weeks of surveillance. Do you think that that would come as a surprise to Americans to know that people like that are living right there beside them?
I think it would.
And so in my specific ride-along, right, I witnessed two different arrests. One person was heading into their job at a restaurant. The other person was leaving for work in the morning, and he works in home health care. These are people that are just right there surrounding us in our workplaces, in the places we eat, sometimes even letting them into our homes. And so that's the reality that I saw firsthand. I only know about their illegal immigration status or also about their criminal convictions because I rode along with ICE, but the greater public in general wouldn't know that information if it wasn't for the work that the ERO team is doing.
Real quick, 20 seconds or so, any solutions from the Chicago field office director to make their job easier?
Yeah, the biggest problem that ICE's ERO team has is the lack of information they have, whether it's from local police departments or state governors who do not cooperate or have laws that do not allow them to cooperate. So really, they just want more people to recognize the problem, come to the table, offer common sense solutions.
Alex Caprariello, thank you. Great work that you've been doing there as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.